What's up, everybody? I hope you are well. I hope quarantine is going okay for you guys. Um, just wanted to give a shout out real quick and appreciate everyone for your patience and trying to do the whole online learning thing. I know it's crazy and nothing is normal at this point. Just wanted to tell you thank you. Without further ado, we're going to jump into some video editing today and or whenever you watch this. So it's going to be Premiere Pro is the program that you're going to launch, and let's get to it. Here we go. Some Premiere Pro basics. So I'm going to try to do this as fast and efficient as we can. Let's go ahead and start by launching Premiere Pro. All right, awesome. So if your Premiere Pro didn't launch as fast as mine, don't worry, I edited that out. Mine probably just took just as long. So let's go ahead and we've become familiar with this basic layout, this basic home page. We're going to go ahead and say New Project. And everything in the project settings for right now we don't have to mess with, but just make sure that you're saving it to a location that you know where it's going to be. And then you're titling it something that you can find again. So let's just call it my first video, or whatever you guys want to call it. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to say OK. And it's going to give me this beautiful screen. And we've become so accustomed to this stuff. I just want to explain it again. Basically, Adobe has paneled out or blocked out some of the most important things for you. So let's go ahead and go through them for just a little bit, and these are all editable. So if you want to make one window bigger or put this video or this window up here, you can do that. Again, these are your different workstations, so you can click on any one of these and it's going to change some of the layout. Right now I'm in editing layout, okay, and that's also in window workspaces editing. So window workspaces editing. Okay. So for right now, I'll edit this out. All right, so for right now, no problem. Let's just be in editing mode or editing workspace, and let's get some footage. So I'm going to go to Google Chrome. I'm going to go to Pixabay. Like we've mentioned before, Pixabay was the website that you could get some free photos. In the search tab right here, I'm going to say videos. So I only want to be searching videos. So let's get some drone shots. Okay, and then you can kind of those are sponsored. You can kind of scrub through here and see some drone shots. That looks pretty cool. That looks epic. That's a very amazing. So these are all free, guys, just to let you know. So with or without your videos, I hope it's footage that you have, but just for example, you can download any of these. These are gorgeous. This is gorgeous footage to use. Okay, so let's go ahead and do. You guys are probably tired of the cold. Let's go ahead and do just some like the greenery shots. So I like this one, car driving in the street. We'll say free download. Right here, this is a resolution that you can choose. So you're going to have a 720. This is a SD, so the like knocked down version. 1080p is high definition. 1440 is UHD, I believe, and 2160 is 4K. So right now you have an option to download the 4K. If you have an option to download the one and you have decent internet speed, go ahead and download the highest resolution. You'll thank me later because you'll have much more editing capabilities. If you don't shoot in 4K, no problem. Just use whatever resolution you have, and we'll get to the resolution explanation later on. So I downloaded that. That took about a couple seconds. Really, really easy. And I'm going to just grab a couple more clips that I like. This one looks nice. And yep, also have a 4K option. I'll go back. This one, this is a little fast. Maybe I like this one. We download another 4K option, really cool. Okay, so you see right here I have each of these video files are all .mp4s. So I'm gonna basically just go ahead and show them in Finder. It'll be under my downloads. So I'll minimize this. In downloads, I see each of these MP4 files right here. So I'm gonna take them all. So I'm gonna shift click them all. These are just in my downloads. You can put them in another folder. You can keep them in your downloads. Doesn't matter for right now. And just so you know where they're at, they're in my downloads. And I can either keep this here or, like I said, put it in another folder. So let's go back to Premiere Pro, and I'm going to run through a couple things. The first and probably the most important thing to know is how to start a project. So right now we have each of these panels. This is the source panel that is also shared with effects controls, your audio controls, and some data on your footage. This is a program panel. This is where your output, like where it's spitting out the final video output. So this is what the final video would look like, for example. This panel down here is for the project, so your everything you're going to import as far as video clips, as far as music goes, anything like that is concerned. Media browser, libraries, some of the things that you can get to from Creative Cloud, info on your footage. Of course, we have no footage in here yet, and effects. So some of these effects we're going to use a lot of. So actually, we'll go ahead and drag effects all the way over right next to project. So project is going to be the most important one. That's where you're going to import all your footage. Okay. So a couple ways to import. Like always, you can double click this area. It'll bring up your finding box, and then you can kind of go through here. Right now, I put all of those files were in my downloads, so I'd have to go look for the .mp4s. You can also use Command I, which is another way to import. And last but not least, my favorite, you just go to the Finder window. I've already selected all of my footage right here. So I just take that and I drag it in, and I drop it into my project folder. And bam, just like that, there are all my files in my Premiere folder. Okay, cool. Next thing you should know is how to organize some of the project panel. And let's just say I want a folder for footage and a folder for music, right? I want to keep it pretty basic, but I just want to show you in case you guys are going to be editing a lot of different clips. So I will pre-select, or I'll select all of these. I'll shift click all of them. I'll drag them into my folder, which is a new bin. Bin is just another name for folder, doesn't mean anything else. And I'm going to call this video footage. Okay. So, and just make sure that one's in there too. So I want to make sure that I dragged all of these into video footage. So now what I can do is I can just open and shut that, and it looks so much nicer, so much cleaner. Okay. So another one I want to do, I'm going to create a new bin, and I'm going to call this one music. Just so now we know we have a music folder and a video footage folder. Again, you can keep all of your stuff in there, not in bins. I just wanted to show you guys how to do it. So in case you get some really crazy timelines and basically like your file starts getting really, really big, you're going to be thankful that you organized it. You can also do a really cool little thing. If you double click on any one of these, it'll open up a bigger area so you can see it. And if you right click on this, you can label it a different color. So let's just say I want all my music in blue and all of my video footage the pink magenta. Okay. And then again, you can even label these to keep these organized as well. So I'll just label all of the stuff in video footage magenta. Okay. And yeah, don't really love that blue. Let's see if we like teal. Yeah, cool. Okay. Getting some 90 colors going on. All right, so now this is another part. Okay, so that we put in our stuff, how do we create a footage, or how do we create the file? So the file right now you're working in is myfirstvideo.premiere Pro. So you can see that right here. Okay, that's the file that you're working in. So if you open up one of the video footage folders and you double click on this sequence right here, it's going to open it up in this source window. Okay, so if you click on effects, controls, audio clip, source, this is where you're going to see basically a preview of your video. Okay, this little playhead right here you can scrub through, and if your computer is a little slower, it's going to choke. Mine right now is recording my screen, so it's definitely slower than it normally is. And you can also press spacebar to receive the playback like the video is supposed to play back. Except again, I'm recording my screen and it's going to be extra choppy. So let's go all the way back, put the playhead to the back. And again, all I did was I double clicked on this particular .mp4, so this particular video file. If I click on a different one, if I double click on a different one, it's going to bring it up in my source panel again. Easy. So all you do is click on it, and this is just a preview mode. So your source panel is just a preview mode, which is really kind of neat, so you can see what's going on before you even drop it into your final sequence. Your final sequence is going to be right down here, this panel right here, called your timeline. Oops, sorry. Called your timeline panel. And the best part about this is that you can pick and choose the little clips or the best parts of the clip before you even drop it into your final timeline. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and scrub through here, and let's just say we really like it to start here. So I'm going to go ahead and clip it. So I'm going to go with, I'm going to hit I on my keyboard, I for in, and then I'm going to scrub through just a little bit. And I like right when it opens up to the field, and I'm gonna clip it again with O. So O for out. Okay. So I on the keyboard for in, O for out. Again, you can adjust these however you want, or you can scroll back here and hit I again. Sometimes what we've done, especially in the ad agency world, is we'll play it back and just keep hitting I until that perfect moment. Okay, so it makes it really nice and streamlined to edit when you can just hit I, O, in and out, and then drag it into your timeline. So now we'll drag it into the timeline. This particular video footage does have some audio. You know that because right here, this purple is the video clip, and this teal part is the audio. So this contains audio. The car shot, the drone shot also has audio. The lake shot, it does not. Okay, you can clearly tell it just from these little icons. So that's really nice to know. However, we're going to be putting our own audio with it, so we don't need any audio. When you take the whole entire file and drag it into your timeline, it's going to drag in everything, including what quote-unquote audio it had. Okay, so that's not what we want to do. We just want the footage. So we're going to drag the video only. That's this icon right here. See it? So we're going to just take the video only, and now it's only dragging what you've clipped, right? So it's only dragging from this point in to this point out, okay? Watch as if we clipped it again, so we say in here and out right here. Now if we only drag that in, it's a much smaller clip because we have only selected a little bit from that, okay? So just so you guys know, whatever you're selecting as your in and out point, that's only the footage that you're dragging into your timeline. Cool. Okay, so let's keep moving. I'm going to go ahead and double click on the car, bring it up in my source panel again. I'm going to scrub through here, kind of see what some shots were like. Again, my computer's choking, so let's go ahead and just select an in and out point again. I'm going to take just the footage only and drag it into my timeline. Remember, my timeline is my final. Okay, so I'm going to kind of just scrub through here and make sure it's playing back. and I got a little bit of the car footage. You can also adjust these by adjusting the clip. The car clip is much shorter than my other clip, so we'll keep it at that. And then the lake shot, I will double click on this lake .mp4 right here, kind of scrub through here to see what the video looks like. Oh, my computer's having such a tough time. Okay, just goes over the lake, easy. So I'll go ahead and select an in with an I and an O with an out point. I'll just drag the footage again, okay? So now, very clearly and simply, we have a clip that is the final video clip of all three of these back to back to back, okay? So not really, I mean, the footage is gorgeous, but not very tough to do. So we can go through here and kind of play back. It's sort of the same motion, so it's kind of seamless, right? You're moving forward in each shot, so it's progressively moving forward. People get very particular about their shots and everything, which I do as well. But for a basic tutorial, this is perfect for you guys. Okay, so you'll input all your video footage here. You'll drag it into your final timeline. You'll view it in the source mode, and then you'll watch it in your final program panel. All right, perfect. Now, a couple of different things. So if we go into effects right here, we're going to see some really neat things in video effects. This is the folder called video effects. Make sure you know what I'm talking about right here. Okay, so if you go ahead and drop that down, you can kind of go through here and play with some of these things. They are pretty darn neat. You can affect levels and lighting and all of that stuff. So one thing in particular I wanted to do is get you guys into a black and white, so image control. So in image control, for example, if I took this effect and I just dropped it on this first one, this forest shot, it's going to automatically turn it black and white. Okay, that's the effect that I dropped on. There's plenty of other effects, and you guys will talk about this more, but I just want you to know that there are such cool basic effects that you can drop on that really make a dramatic difference in your video. Okay, the number 2 most important thing in here is the video transitions. You can overuse these, just to be aware, you can overuse these. So video transitions, a very common one is the dissolve. So if I take one of these, one is called dip to black, dip to white, film dissolve, cross dissolve, any of these. You can take this and put it in between two of your footages, and it transitions from one into another, okay? A really popular one is cross dissolve, so basically crosses the two images together. And dip to white. Dip to white is a nice one in certain scenarios, especially if any light is like leaking around. Right here with the sun, that's kind of nice. And you can also control this. You can control the size of this, how long or how short it dips to white or dips to black. Okay. Do that same transition on this next part. I kind of liked it a little shorter, so we'll go ahead and just drag it down. These tools here, you can take the video and then also, if you needed this to be shorter, you can go ahead and drag it out. But when you do that, the cross dissolve or the dip, whatever transition effect you're going to use is going to disappear from that footage. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and this time I'm going to use the ripple edit tool. Okay, so in your tool panel right here, this ripple edit tool, if I now go find that yellow arrow, I'll zoom in a little bit on this, find that yellow arrow and then bring it into the left, like I just want to chop it just a little bit, everything from the right of that clip is going to move with it. So even my cross dissolve. It's going to save you guys a lot of time, because the faster you get to learn these tools, the faster you can edit video. Okay. So real quick, we just have the basic shots, drone shots, fading into each other with a dip to black effect. And this right here, the tools are as follows. Your selection tool, which is V, which is basically your all-in-one, moving tool. Command Z is going to be one of your best friends, especially in Premiere. If you do something, don't like it, just revert back to what you had, no problem. Plenty of different dissolves, plenty of different transitions, but again, we'll get to these effects and transitions later. I just wanted to show you how to import your videos, your different clips, how to clip them together by double-clicking, and how to throw them into your final video footage, okay? Or final video file. All right, awesome. Let's do one more thing, and that's going to be creating a title, and then we'll figure out, and then I'll show you guys how to output your video footage. All right, so let's go to Premiere Pro. Let's go to File. We'll go to New, and we'll go to Legacy Title. We'll call the title just the intro, okay? And right here, it's going to bring up a window that's basically showing your video, just the very first clip of it in the background or wherever your playhead was. Mine just happened to be in the beginning, in the very front of the video footage. Which for a title, this would make sense. So just so you guys know where you're putting this title, you can also move it later. So as a real quick title, let's just call this The Beautiful World. Okay. You can also select different fonts right here. So you can choose any of these fonts. We'll just go ahead and do something simple. And you can select the size of your title. I usually will keep things centered, so you can align the center, you can align it left, or you can align it right, or right and left. I'll keep it center, and the best part about keeping it center is this over here. We can basically align it to the middle, okay? So, oops. So you can mess around with a lot of these things here, and looking for my align tool. Oh, there we go. It's over here to the left. I didn't see that this was being so big. All right, this is how it usually looks. It's not usually this wide. All right. As you can see, moving your window around, making it comfortable for you to look at. I am used to this window right here that looks just like this. It's beautiful. Okay, so center right here, if you just click on that and then you click on centering or aligning it in the center vertically and horizontally, this is going to put your title right in the middle. And that's a really beautiful thing because then it's going to look more professional than if you were to just do something real fast, okay? So that's all you need to do for a title, and you can literally just X out of this window. So you might have thought, oh crap, why did I just exit? I didn't even save it or save it as anything. The title will automatically save in your project panel. So if you go over here, it's going to show exactly, this is a title icon, and it's going to tell you what you've named that title, so intro. I'll keep it in my video footage folder for now, right? So it's in my video footage folder, but after that, you can do whatever you want. And you will also see in this green, there's a new sort of icon that looks like a bunch of layers stacked on top of each other with a little playhead. This is something called a sequence, right? So you've created a new sequence the moment you threw footage in your timeline right here. This is what you will export in the end. So your sequence is something you've created from all of your video footage. And all a sequence is just the sequence of clips and footages that you've clipped together. All right, so let's go back to video footage. We'll go back to the intro. And we're going to take the intro and just drag it right on top of our footage right here. Okay, so, and now if you play that back, you'll see it says The Beautiful World, and then it goes away. So perfect. So I got a cool title in the beginning. Lasts for however long you want, and then it goes away. So by however long you want, I mean if you go in here and you zoom in, I'm just pinching and zooming. You guys can zoom in with this guy too on your timeline. So if I only want this to last 4 seconds, I can then drag it, you know, to about, see this is 5 seconds, I can drag it to about that, you know, 4 or so second mark. Okay, and that's really nice because then I can play it back. I can see it says the beautiful world, and then it's going to clip out. Okay. Again, with the effects, if I go to effects and I go to video transitions and I go to dissolve, I can put a cross dissolve on the end of my title, and if we take the playhead and scrub all the way back, you're going to see what this does, is that it comes with beautiful world. My beautiful world fades this time instead of just clipping away. You can see the difference between, sorry guys, my computer is super slow right now. You can see the difference between it fading away. Clearly you can see the difference. Just kidding. Wow. All right. Well, on your own computer, I hope you can see the difference between it fading away and it just clipping away, right? Yeah, all of everything is running so fast or so hard on the computer right now. Okay, so that's the fade versus if we took that away, it just clips away. Okay, so again, I'm gonna zoom out here. I'll pinch in to zoom out. And right now, this is our video, so it goes from the beautiful world to trees to the car shot. Come on, car shot. And then to the lake shot. Car drone shot. To the lake shot. Okay. So that is all we're going to do today. I want you guys to go to File. Definitely save this this file. So you're going to go to Save or Save As. I'm going to save mine because I already know where it's at. It's called My First Video. .proj. That is a Premiere Pro project. So Premiere Pro project file. And then one more other thing is we're going to go to File and we're going to go to Export and we're going to export media. Okay? File, Export, Export Media. And make sure you're on the timeline that you created. So right here, couple different settings to consider. You're going to be in Output. Scale to fit, you can leave that as is. Your format right here, you must put this for right now, you must put this at H.264. This is super important, guys. H.264. Why? This is going to compress your file so it's not crazy huge, but it's also going to give you the highest quality that you can get when you compress that file. Alright, so make sure you're choosing the format as H.264. It's just an encoding thing, it's just a compression thing so that you can still get a file called .mp4, because if you switch that, even just for fun, this .jpeg will only render one or a bunch, depending on what you choose here, and different settings for different dot file extensions. So right now we want a .mp4. Okay. Again, this is going to give you one of the most compressed, so smallest file size, but with some of the highest resolution that you can get on some of your videos. Okay, so cool. This you can say match source. You can just keep it at high bitrate. That doesn't matter for right now. And then output name. This is super important. You need to name this something and place it somewhere that you're going to remember it. So I was already calling it My First Video. I think I'll just stay with that name and call it My First Video.mp4. I'll say save. And we're going to run through some other things. So we're going to export video, export audio, sure, but there was none in there, so that doesn't matter. We'll get to audio in the next tutorial. And then scrub through here just for a little bit, and I want to just, for the most part, we can just match the source, okay? So automatically matching the source of your video is put in there. That's probably your safest bet. And right here is your resolution, 3840 by 2160 is 4K, so you're going to be exporting this at 4K. That is also fine. It's going to be a little bit bigger of a file, so depending on what your computer can handle, you have to kind of modify that. If you scroll down here, or move this window down here, you're going to see something called bitrate settings. So bitrate encoding, I'm just going to choose the one pass. If these are all the way up here, crazy big bit rates, meaning more data on your video. Yes, it might look nicer on something like a TV or a big screen, but for YouTube's sake and for uploading's sake, you need something. It's going to compress it anyhow to about 10 or 12. Your bitrate is going to be about 10 or 12. So I like to keep mine at, I think, like 10 and 11 is what I had it at. Okay. The reason for that is this estimated file size right here. Right now it is 73 megabytes. So not bad. 73 megabytes is not bad. But watch when I amp it up to the 230. 1,631 megabytes. That's nuts, and that's going to take a long time to upload versus a 70 megabyte file. So let's go ahead and switch this to about 10, 11, or maybe 11 and 11 is fine. And I'm getting 80 megabytes right here. Let's see what it is at 10. 73 megabytes. We'll keep this at 10. And again, YouTube's going to compress it down to 10 or 8, whatever it's going to be if you upload that anyhow, especially on not 4K when they're not viewing it on 4K. So up to you what your computer can handle. So mess with this for experiment's sake, but for right now you can just kind of keep it at the smaller bit rate so that you're not jamming your system with too high of a quality video. Everything else here, you can kind of just leave as is. We'll go through some more of these later, but for right now, this bitrate settings is probably your most important part. Okay, and then you're going to choose, right here, you're going to choose export. Perfect. Now, it has completed rendering. We're going to go ahead and just make sure that we can find it. So we're going to go to File. I'm going to go to Desktop, find you guys, where you at, right here, and myfirstvideo.mp4, so you see this right here, that's the video that we exported. So I'm going to click on this, and I just want to preview it real quick. It has the title, good, the title clips away, and it has these beautiful footage that we've clipped together. So we'll let it play just for a second longer. If you can imagine this with some music and some cool narration on top, some like National Geographic, like look at this beautiful world, over 7,000 acres of something and whatever. So it's kind of neat, that you're able to do this with just the tools that we have, and this the footage that you have as well. I mean, you guys can all make your own videos, make your own content, make your own music videos for your friends. Just charge them a little less than, they're going to be paying someone else. And that's it. Okay, so you will then go to YouTube or Vimeo, whatever your choice is, upload this video, and then for right now, I just want to be sent, or just to submit the link to the video. In the following week, we'll be able to embed the video into our website. For right now, let's just stay with the link to the video on Vimeo or YouTube, or whatever video player you prefer. Both accounts are free. Okay, thanks guys, and hope you have a good week. Peace.